the Prophet of Thought series.
What's up, folks, to another edition of the Prophet.The series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. We're supposed to be speaking with Brother Dynast Amir tonight. I think he was a little indisposed, but I do believe he's coming on. I actually have just spoke to him by way of email, so he should be on shortly. Tonight we're going to be talking about Africa, real talk, because there's a lot of fake talk going on. What's good, Brother Jones, my man? There's a lot of fake talk on Africa. If y'all been looking at the old T.P.O.T YouTube page, I actually just put a video up a few days ago, and I was talking about the prophets of yesterday. And when I talk about the prophets of yesterday, what I mean is there's a lot of people who talk Africa. And let me just put a disclaimer out there, because not by no way, shape, or form does T.P.O.T endorse the street talking, street walking, social justice, African activists, speech makers, okay? Because you hear a lot of talk about Africa. You hear a lot of talk about people talking about going to Africa and Africa this and Africa that. And most of these people who talk this shit, they never been there themselves, but they study standing somewhere telling you need to go and how you need to live like you in Africa and all this kind of nonsense. They don't know anything about Africa. The brother that's coming on tonight does. He actually goes to Africa. He sells Africa clothing. He oh shit, Brother Amir. There you go.
Brother? How you doing, man?
Good, man? I was just introducing you, man, you know, because I was telling the folks, I was telling them that, you know, there's a lot of brothers who talk. I know I run into them a lot in my circles where they talk a good Africa game.
Right.
You know, they talk about how you should go to Africa and how you should dress in Africa clothes and all this kind of nonsense. And meanwhile, these brothers have never been to Africa, like ever.
We do have that problem in our community. Go ahead.
So, yeah, I mean, they don't know jack diddly squat about Africa, but they study trying to teach you about Africa. And I was just telling the folks, I said, this brother that's coming on tonight actually goes to Africa and knows about Africa, sells African clothing on his site, you know, that kind of thing. If you want, you can go ahead and just, you know, because you know I'm about to throw a whole bunch of questions at you, brother.
That's fine. Go ahead and throw.
Because I know you got the answers, but before we do that, you can go ahead and just tell the folks who you are, what you do, you know, what Search for Uhuru is about and all of that.
Yeah, name is Dynast Amir, originally from Sacramento, California, currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia. Search for Uhuru is a I would say, I would call it a movement or a project that started from when back in 2011, I believe that was, or 2012, I'm sorry, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. I made it to, I didn't make it to Uhuru Peak, but I made it to, I forgot the name, Gilman's Point, I believe it's called. But forgive me, guys, if that's the name of it, please forgive me. So then I went on a mission to next time I'm going to climb Kilimanjaro. I'm going to, instead of 17 the mountain, I'm going to reach the peak this time. So that's where the inspiration on Search for Who came from. And then also me just traveling back and forth, going to Africa and searching for my roots. So then, you know, I started posting my videos, traveling to Africa, posting my, I would say, pictures of me traveling to Africa. And then people started asking questions, more detail on, you know, how do I travel to Africa? You know, but from that to, hey, I have this question about this tribe. You know, I was told that this tribe practiced this. And what I started to notice, as you mentioned, is a lot of the information was coming from people who never even visited the tribe or never even been to Africa. So there was a lot of misinformation being passed around in the, not just the conscious community, but the community that's interested in Africa altogether. So I said, you know what, let me find someone who's actually a member of this tribe and let me take it deeper and actually travel and visit this tribe. So for me, you know, I've sat with the Maasai, the Zulu, the Himba. I've sat with the Dogon. I traveled to Mali and sat with the Dogon several times, and just started asking the questions or sharing with them the information that's being spread in the U.S. in regards to the tribe. And I was shocked to see that a lot of the information that's being shared is not true. So I just wanted to set the record straight in regards to the info that's being passed around. There's a lot of misinformation being passed around. So I went from that to, hey, Dynast, look, I'm interested in relocating and repatriating to Africa. How's the process? So again, there's a lot of misinformation being spread on that. So I just started reaching out to brothers who have actually relocated to Africa and just, hey, won't you do an interview on your experience? And what I found out is a lot of our brothers who relocate, they, I guess, haven't fully repatriated, meaning they have still have their U.S. passports and they're not really considered citizens in the country. Even Ghana, they're not even really, they're not citizens of that country, I guess, citizens, if that makes sense. Then it went to, hey, Dynast, I want to start a business in Africa. How do I start a business? So I said, okay, well, let me find out brothers and who have started business in Africa, who currently live in Africa. So I started having them come on a platform and give their story and share the information. And then I started reaching out to Africans who actually live in Africa just to give their testimony or story on how, hey, we don't have any problems with Black Americans. In fact, we want you guys to come over and help us build. So, you know, Search for Who is connecting the diaspora back with the continent. That's what Search for Who is about right now.
Okay. Well, I had you know, I had went to your site and you know, I looked at a lot of your videos, you know, and stuff like that. And one thing that I respect about you, brother, is that you don't just talk the talk, man. You walk the walk, brother. You walk the walk. And see me, I'm this type of brother. If you go, all the people that follow me, you know, my little 500 and something subscribers, they know that I don't talk that Africa stuff. I actually had a series at one time called Voices from Africa, where I actually had people come on from Africa, you know, and talk. So I've never claimed to be one of those African brothers, you know, talk to Africa shit, because I've never been. Anything I can tell you from Africa is something that I've read online, read in a book, or, you know, learned in school. So the thing I would, like I said, what I respect about you is that you are back and forth to Africa, man. I mean, you're the real deal. Okay, you're the real deal. Not like the dudes I see when I go back and forth to New York, walking up and down 125th Street.
Right.
All right, not like that. And I think that these brothers, now don't get me wrong. Of course, there's some people who have been, and they, I even know a brother from Africa. I know a brother from Senegal. I mean, he's my man. He's from Senegal, but he's the only person that I know personally from the continent of Africa. All right. And when I say from the continent of Africa, where he actually lived there and now he lives here.
Right.
And he goes back because he has dual citizenship. He goes back like every year he goes back and he spends like a month, 2 months there. He goes back and forth. So, he hasn't lost his African roots whatsoever. I mean, I've known him I've known El Hajj I've known him for 15 years and I still barely understand his damn English.
You need to learn Wolof. I'm working on it too.
Yeah, man, his damn English, boy. And that's my man. I've known him for 15 years, but I still have to make him repeat shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So let me get to ask you some questions, man.
Go ahead, family.
A lot of people, when they think about Africa, I know better than this, but most people don't. When they think about Africa, man, they think about spears and brothers standing around with banana leaves, over their genitals, and this is kind of what you get from brothers, man. Now I know better than that. All right, I know better than that. But people get that sense from Africa. I don't know if they get it from the people that they hear. I don't know if they get it from media. I'm pretty sure media plays a big part in it. And tell the people that Africa is not people running around with spears and bones in their noses and wearing banana leaves and no shoes and shit.
Yeah. I mean, Africa is very modernized. When I tell people, whatever you have access here in America, excuse me, you can also get in Africa, whatever you want. So yeah, Africa is very modernized. I would say places like Nairobi, or cities like Nairobi, Namibia, which is borders South Africa. Namibia is probably the cleanest place I've ever been to in my life. Cleaner, the roads, the infrastructure is better than America all put together. So again, whatever lifestyle you're looking for, in regards to, if you want to live a life here in America, but I guess live it in Africa, you have access to all the bells and whistles. So yeah, I mean, there aren't lions and tigers, or I'm sorry, there aren't lions just roaming around throughout the city. Again, it's very westernized and modernized to the point where a lot of times I avoid the major cities because they're copying carbon copies of what we see in America. For example, I was in Ghana, I was in Namibia, they had Kentucky Fried Chicken out there. And I'm like, you guys are eating this crap when you could you still have access to fresh, like truly fresh, like they cut the chicken, the goat, kill it in front of you, slaughter it and cook it in front of you. You still have access to that, but you guys are settling for Kentucky Fried Chicken because you see it on TV. Now, as far as where these stereotypes come from is the media. And the issue I have with a lot of our brothers and sisters is, we get upset and angry at the way I would say Fox News and CNN stereotypes Black people here in America. It criminalizes us. But when these same media outlets stereotype us and criminalize us, our African brothers, you take it as truth and run with it. And we got to stop that. So yes, it's definitely the Africa you see that's being told by a lot of these media outlets that do not serve our best interests is not the Africa you will see once you go over and experience it.
Well, you being a brother who travels back and forth to the continent often, do you suggest that black folks in America migrate to Africa?
If not migrate, it's definitely at least go visit once in your life. I mean, you know, Jews, they go back to Israel. In fact, they have like a rites of passage to go back. You know, I think at least once go and visit for yourself. I mean, because that's where you come from, you know, which leads me to another point. You know, there's this Aboriginal and indigenous movement, I guess, that's going on here in America. Do I think there were dark skinned, woolly hair people here in the West before Columbus? I do. But a lot of people are trying to take it and run with it just to avoid their Africanity, I guess. So we have to stop that. I mean, a lot of you guys don't speak the language. I mean, you walk around and you talk and sound like American Negroes. You're not trying to embrace the Indian or Aboriginal culture. So we need this to stop because it's just another fad or something we're trying to hop on. So I think every dark skinned, woolly hair person should once in time in their life travel to Africa.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to go. As a matter of fact, my man El Haj, he said the next time he go back to Senegal, he want me to go with him, and I'm really considering going with him, man.
Go. I go to Senegal every year, man. Senegal is pretty much my second home. I'm there every year for an event called the Grand Maga. So I would highly, in fact, I'm working on learning my French and my Wolof right now as we speak, because it's to the point now they're saying, Dynast, how can you be Senegalese and not speak the language? So, yeah, so I'm working on that right now as we speak. So yeah, man, I mean, grab a ticket and go. Where are you located, bro?
I'm in North Carolina.
Okay.
Down in the sticks, man. The sticks. Well, not really the sticks. I live in the city of Charlotte, so it's not really the sticks. But yeah, I mean, he's been trying to get me to go with him, man, for like the past. He's been trying to get me to go with him for like 4 or 5 years.
What are you waiting on?
Like, oh man, you gotta go with me.
Oh man, what are you waiting on? I mean, the best.
I think I'm gonna go with him this time, Brother Amir. I think I'm gonna go, man.
You gotta go, man. The best food you ever eat in your life. I mean, dude, go. Trust me.
Yeah, I think I want to go, man. You know, I mean, when he goes, he stays for like a month though. So yeah, I don't know how wifey gonna feel about me being gone a whole month.
She'll understand. She'll understand.
I don't know how that's going to go down. Maybe a week or two. I don't know about the whole month, but we'll work out something. But in all honesty, do you feel, because like I said, people are always talking that, you know, oh, we need to go to Africa stuff. And in reality, man, a lot of us, man, we wouldn't even be cut out to live in Africa, right?
Right.
A lot of us. Everybody wouldn't be able to like live in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They just wouldn't, right?
Right. I don't think it's for everybody to pick up and move. But again, I mean, there's opportunity everywhere. And I just think where a lot of Black people are dropping the ball is at least taking the time, at the very least, taking the time out and checking out what opportunities are there lie in Africa. You know, America isn't the end all be all. And that's what we have to understand. So, you know, if things aren't necessarily working out here in America, I mean, there could be opportunity here in Africa for you. I mean, you got to think about it. America was settled or discovered by Europeans who absolutely failed in Europe. So, you know, there's opportunity everywhere. I mean, when I go over there, you see Chinese, Lebanese, Indians, you see everybody over there, and they're doing quite well. But, you know, I think Black Americans are the only people who are afraid to, you know, who won't even consider leaving their neighborhood to go seek other opportunities elsewhere. So, yeah, absolutely. But do I think it's for everybody? No. But at least take the opportunity to explore other options, whether it be Africa or not.
Yeah, well, you know, problem with a lot of us, man, as Black folks is that, you know, we like to claim, you know, we love to claim Africa,
right.
But, you know, we don't really embrace Africa. I mean, claiming Africa and embracing Africa, I think is two different things. I mean, because like I said, I mean, you have brothers who You know, they talk, you know, I'm this African, I'm this African. Meanwhile, they wearing beads that's made in Korea. They wearing damn dashiki that's made in China. You know what I'm saying? And they reading out of books that were printed in America, and they still telling you about Africa. They trying to tell you how African they are. And they come off as, they don't just come off as disingenuous, they come off as hustlers, because they're telling you to do this thing that not only have they not done, something they have no intention on doing. Half the brothers that's telling people right now to go to Africa, they've never been and they have no intention on going. None whatsoever. They're not going.
They're not.
They're not going. I mean, because it's a statistical fact, man, that about 70%, and that may be a conservative number, 70% of us as black folks don't even leave a 50 square mile radius of where we were born.
Absolutely.
And that's just that's a statistical fact. So how are we going to end up and go 9,000 miles? We just going to jump up and go 9,000 miles to Africa. I think the people that really leave the United States and go to Africa, and not just to live, but also to visit, is people who really are trying to embrace Africa, as opposed to just, you know, putting on a dashiki, a kufi, some beads, and some sandals, and stand on the side of the road and tell you how you sleep and you need to claim Africa. You know, I just think it's a big difference between those two people. Now you have a site, right, where you sell African clothing, and I know that stuff is genuine African.
Sorry about that. Go about
straight from the motherland, right? That's the genuine deal.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. No Chinese or Indian made dashiki. So, absolutely not. Not
the dashiki made in India, or
no.
Beads made in Korea. None of that stuff, right?
Right, absolutely not.
So, what made you want to what made you want to integrate, bring in, you know, like African fashion? Because I went on the site, there's some nice stuff on there.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
What made you want to bring African fashion to the States? What inspired that?
What I noticed in Senegal is Senegal by far has the best artists and seamstress or tailors on the planet. And I see a lot of our people, like the other day, there's a story of a lady, I think in Texas, who went into Saks Fifth Avenue, bought $5,000 worth of accessories or clothes. And I want to say she spent $5,000 on maybe a belt, some shoes, and maybe a dress. So she pays for it. They accused her of fraud. The police come in, make a scene, embarrass her. And then, you know, now she has this public embarrassment, but it's because she goes into a store where historically a lot of these European designers are racist. I mean, black people have to beg to just get in their fashion shows. They don't respect you a lot of times. I mean, this happens often where, you know, we go and we patronize these establishments that don't respect our dollar. And I'm like, look, I guarantee you, if I have my African attire on and you have on your Louis Vuitton, I'll get more compliments in my African attire than you will in your Louis Vuitton, and it costs a whole lot less. So that's the reason why. You know, I just wanted people to have access to it as far as another option in regards to your wardrobe.
Okay. And you sell for, I mean, you sell fashion for males and females, right? It's not just one thing.
Right. So for the females, is more accessories and jewelry. I am working on the dresses, but for men, it's the clothing and everything. And the accessories are coming directly from the tribe. So, you know, when I go to Africa and I sit with the elders, I go to different tribes, you know, I form relationships with them. So, you know, what your order is coming directly, like from the tribes or directly from Africa. So yeah.
Okay. That's That's really impressive, man. I'm really impressed with it. And I'm glad, like I said, I can't say this enough, man. I'm actually glad that you came on. It's like perfect timing that you came on today. Cause like I said, I just put up a video a few days ago called Prophecy Yesterday, and I talked about how brothers often talk about, the motherland and Africa and the history of Africa. And I think that that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But what I also would hope that these brothers would talk about is, what are we doing going forward? Even if you're going to talk about Africa, what are we going to do going forward? You hear a lot of talk about black folks being enslaved, and you hear a lot of talk about the pyramids and Kemet and who built this and who built that. And like I said, all that stuff is well and good. But when it comes time for me to pay my light bill, me knowing who built the pyramids don't mean shit.
Correct.
It just doesn't.
And me as well.
It just
Me as
doesn't.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. So, I mean, I would like brothers, if they're going to talk Africa, I would like them to talk future Africa. I would like them to talk about the economy of Africa. I would like them to talk about the society of Africa. And I ask you, like, what's the society of Africa like? And can people in America remain in America and possibly, do business with Africa, like a brother like yourself? I mean, you got stuff coming directly from the tribes. So is there opportunities like that for brothers in the United States?
Yeah, absolutely. But I would recommend. I mean, we do have this thing called the internet where you could do business internationally. But I would still highly recommend traveling to Africa and forming relationships on the ground before you begin to, I guess, participate in any type of enterprise over there, or at the very least, know somebody who's rooted over there before you start any type of enterprise. But I would definitely recommend going over there, visiting first. But you can, I mean, like I said, you have the internet, so you could do business globally. But I would say that Africa isn't like China, where if you wanted Chinese goods, you can go on Alibaba, because there's not like an Alibaba platform or an eBay platform for Africa. But you're going to have to either know somebody or just go yourself, form those relationships, and then conduct business that way.
Okay. And stay away from the Nigerian scam artists who be trying to get you to send them $1 million, telling you telling you want $1 million, but they need you to send 5,000 so you can claim it.
Right. Yeah. Avoid that hustle.
Yeah, avoid that. I always thought that at some point more people from Africa would be coming to America. And when people come, I know my man El Hodge from Senegal. He said he came to America because he wanted to, he wanted to be able to work, save money, take some of his money and go and vacation back in Africa. That's pretty much what he does. He works here and then he goes back to Senegal and he vacations and he, relaxes and do whatever the hell it is he does. So why do you think a lot of people that live on the African continent, why do they come here? Do they come here for that same purpose, or do they come here from for a better life? And what areas mostly come to America? What areas mostly?
I think a lot of it has to do with, unfortunately, lack of opportunity um, in Africa for many. But at the same time, I think a lot of times Africans they look at how America's portrayed on the media, the images they get, and a lot of times they regret coming over because the grass isn't greener. Because I'm running into a lot of Africans who are somewhat stuck in America, and they're not, I guess, moving like they thought they would because of what the dream they were sold on TV, and regret coming here. And, you know, there's this sense of I can't go back to Africa because if I do, I'll be considered a failure. Or, you know, I'm over here, I'm making money that I need to send home to my family. And if I were to relocate back to Africa, that would, I guess, I would be getting rid of my income source for my family. But what I try to tell Africans is if you come to America, that's fine, but learn the skills here and then take those skills back to Africa and build. So, you know, because when I go to Africa, I see Indians doing well, Lebanese, you know, Chinese doing quite well. You know, there should be no reason why Africans could be doing well as well in their own country, which is their birthright. So,
how much money do you think it would take if a brother like myself said, "Okay, Brother Amir, I wanna move to Africa"? How much money would a brother have to say just pick up and just move to Africa so he'll have enough money to, you know, buy him a place and, you know, maybe a plot of land? And I mean, how much money we talking about?
I would say this: if you have realistically, I mean, you could rent decent places in Africa, and I'm being serious when I say decent. Depending which country, $200 a month, you know, $400 a month, you're doing awesome. If you could budget $1,000 a month, and I know some people who are living on less. If you could budget $1,000 a month and make it on and find a way to hustle $1,000 a month, you could do fine.
Okay.
So,
and because when you say places like Namibia, the infrastructure and all that is together, just like the United States.
It's better.
So it's better. So that being the case, that means, you know, you can probably find work in a place like that. Because I know some places in Africa are probably doing better than others. Because for those of you who don't know, Africa is not a country. It's a continent with countries in it. So, you know, I just want to put that out there, y'all. Because some places are doing better, just like in the United States. Some states do better than other states. So depending on where you plan on living in Africa, that'll probably dictate, you know, how you live, whether or not you can get a job, whether or not you can start a business, find work, you know, that kind of stuff. And how receptive are they to American black folks coming in to live?
They love us over here. We've been fed a lie that Africans don't like us. I mean, I've done videos on that on my page. You know, they absolutely love us over there. As far as finding a job, if I would say this, if you're relocating to Africa and you don't have an entrepreneurial spirit, hospital. Hold on, stop that. Sorry about that. I had an ad come up. If you're relocating to Africa and you don't have an entrepreneurial spirit, I would reconsider relocating because I would more focus on creating jobs with the skills that you've learned here in America and coming to Africa. Unless you find a job with an American company that happens to have, you know, maybe some type of base or satellite office in Africa, that's one thing. But, you know, coming to Africa looking for a job, I would definitely not recommend that.
The path, that would be a path to brokenness, I assume. the path to brokenness. So from what you see in Africa, do you think like the Asians and, you know, people from China and Japan and whatnot, are they over there exploiting Africa? Are they exploiting it?
I'm somewhat torn on that. It's a yes and no, but the issue is they're allowed and given a green light to exploit because of African leaders, selfish and greedy African leaders. So it somewhat goes both ways. Because what Chinese, Indians, and non-Africans do in Africa, if Africans were to attempt to do that, operate in the same way in their countries, they'll be shut down immediately. But in Africa, they're allowed to operate. So you know, a lot of it is due to bad leadership.
Okay. So, like in America, are they freaking polluting rivers and dumping waste in the back of people's neighborhoods? Is shit like that going on in Africa like it is here?
It is, but again, it's allowed to a point, you know, because again, African leadership, you know, once you get in our pockets, you can pretty much do anything you want.
Wow. I always thought that at some point, I don't know why I thought this. I actually thought at some point that when Barack Obama was in the White House, that there would be some type of push from America to, do something with and or for Africa. But I was
Yeah,
wrong
we were
yet
all
again.
we were all wrong.
Yeah, I thought, being that his father was Kenyan, I just thought that he
Nah,
would.
nah, you got to understand, man. Af- um, Barack Obama was completely disconnected from the black experience until he moved to Chicago. I mean, so
Mm,
that's what people have to understand, man. You know, he is a black face, but he was completely, it still is completely disconnected. So, you know, a lot of us were under the impression that he was going to rise up and do for black folk. Excuse me.
bless
But
you.
at the end of the day, he was more operating in the best interests of non-black people. You know,
Yeah. Well, I never thought he was going to do anything for black folks here, but I always thought, on an international level, as a president, he would have made some type of push, for Africa. But when you when you think about it now, I don't think anybody on a grand scale really gives a damn about Africa, especially when you talk about the United States. That's why I asked you earlier, do you believe that Asians are exploiting Africa? Because we all know that Africa is just enriched with all types of natural resources. I mean, it's just full of that. So, of course, you got people trying to get over there and get their hands on the natural resources, the gold, the diamond,
right,
the herbs, all the medicines and trees and stuff that, that make, cures, because Africa is just full of everything. I mean, everything you could possibly find in this world, you could find it in Africa.
right, absolutely.
And people are hip to that. So if if the United States thought they could go over there and exploit Africa like they did centuries ago, I think they would have more of a stake in what goes on over in Africa. But for some reason, the United States has kind of stayed away from Africa. The United States has stayed away from Africa. I mean, there's a few pockets of things going on there that have the U.S. stamp on it, but for the most part, they stay the hell away from Africa, and I feel like there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. I'm not sure what the reasons are, but there's a reason why they're not over there exploiting Africa just like everybody else in the world is, because it's
Nah,
it's just it's just a matter of time before I believe, this is my opinion, that it's just a matter of time, my brother, before more people start coming in and trying to exploit the African continent. That's what I feel.
nah,
That's what I truly believe.
America is still pulling strings worldwide. So, or not, they're doing it through proxies, you know, through Europe or other, I would say, entities, organizations. So, trust me, America is still heavily influenced in Africa.
I'm sure. Well, America is behind a lot of shit.
Right.
It's we can't listen. We can't really listen to what they tell us. We have to listen to what we don't hear.
Correct.
It ain't so much of what they say; it's what they don't say that's usually pretty important. Um, now that you're, like I said, you're a brother that goes back and forth to Africa. When are you going back again? When are you going back to Africa?
I leave actually in next weekend, headed to Togo and Benin for the
Oh,
Voodoo.
You going back next week?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long are you going to be there? How long are you going to be in Africa this year?
Not long. I think maybe 9, 10 days, maybe something like that. Not long at all.
Okay. Will you be able to stream and stuff like that while you're there?
It depends on the speed of the Wi-Fi where I'm standing. Like when where I'm staying. When I go, live a very I would say simple lifestyle. So it just depends. But more than likely, no. But
Wow.
if you follow me on Instagram, social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, you will definitely get the I guess the updates that way. And I will post some short videos on Instagram because they're easier to upload. But as far as YouTube, it'll probably be done when I get back, or if I have a quicker or more responsive, faster access to faster Wi-Fi.
Yeah, man, because it would be something, man, to stream with you, man, while you was over there, man. That would be something.
Yeah, I mean, we could try, but I can't guarantee it. Like I said, it just depends on where I'm staying. So
Okay.
usually the Wi-Fi is not the most reliable where I usually stay when I go over. So
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to hit you up while you over there, man.
oh,
I'm
no
gonna hit you
problem,
up,
man.
man, and try to, get some live Africa stream going on, man.
Absolutely.
No, I wanna see that, man, because like I said, I mean, I've never been a person who, I've never been a person who pushed the African thing, but I've always been interested in Africa. I've always been interested in African culture. And like I said, I mean, I'm gonna go there before I die. Maybe soon, maybe next year, It's a possibility, y'all, that y'all might be coming to y'all live from Africa one day. But yeah, I mean, I've always been interested in it, man. And like I said, man, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. And just to let y'all know, we talking with brother Dynasty Amir, Real Talk Africa, not that nonsense that y'all used to hearing. This is a brother who actually goes to Africa, knows Africa, sits down and talks to the tribes. He's been, how many countries in Africa have you been to, brother?
I think 10.
Okay.
Around 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
The goal is to go to all of them. And
okay.
and brother, it's Dynast Amir. So
Dynasty.
No
Damn.
problem. No problem.
I put Dynasty on the
It's all
damn
good. It's all good. It
on the
happens.
tag too. I gotta get back in there and change that and shit.
It's all good. It's Dynast.
Dynast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I just want to, kick it with you for an hour or so, man, and have somebody up on the stream, man, who really knows Africa. I think you're doing great work, man. Y'all should go ahead, whether y'all watching this live or y'all watching on the playback, y'all should go ahead and subscribe to the brother's channel. I mean, he does good stuff, man. He talks to a lot of brothers from Africa. He's back and forth to Africa. And not only that, the brother sells African clothing. So why don't you go ahead and plug your site and your internet store and all that, brother Dynast.
Absolutely. So search for Huru. It's a tag name. Search for Huru, all one word. Let me put it in the chat. There we go. So search for Huru at Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. YouTube is also search for Huru. So search that and my page will come up. Search for Huru. Go to dynastamir.com. That's my clothing site. Also go to searchforhuru.com and then make sure you go to amazon.com as well. I've written, authored several books, so please support and buy them. So Prophet of Thought, man, thank you so much for allowing me on your platform. It's a great opportunity and day for new Black media. Because Black media, mainstream Black media is pretty much dead, or it is dead. So
It is.
and it's great because as long as you have a not even a computer, a laptop, a cell phone, you could become your own media platform via YouTube. You can rent space for free. So
Oh yeah, I'm getting it out there. I'm actually moving up, man. Shit, I'm surprised with my growth because shit, like about 3 months ago, I had like 120 subscribers. Shit, I'm up to like 530 now. So I'm I'm moving pretty rapid. So, you know, I'm seeing where it go. I keep adding new elements to the platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm able to do more now than I normally do, because everybody who follows me knows that I own a power mechanic shop. And from March all the way up till excuse me, to like October, early November, I'm swamped. I mean,
Right.
I don't really have YouTube time, you know.
Uh-huh.
But now that my shop has slowed down, I have more time. You know, I can get on, I can live stream, I can make videos and stuff like that. So, you know, I can kind of build on it. I build on the channel more in the winter than I can in the spring and summer, because I'm too damn busy. So I'm trying to grow it, man. And you know, it's good to connect with brothers like you. You know, it's good to know that brothers like you are out there doing your thing, you know, doing it for real, you know, not just, you know, telling us a bunch of crap and then going home and doing the exact opposite of what they're telling, you know, us to do. You know, it's good to see a brother like that, because people can go right to your YouTube page and they can see you. They can see you do what you do and do what you talk about. And I think that's an honorable thing, man. And I respect you, brother, for that. I do.
Okay, and again, I appreciate you for letting me come on. And people in the chat room, thank you for joining us as well.
No, absolutely, all 6 of y'all.
hey, you gotta start somewhere, brother. You gotta start somewhere.
All 6 of y'all. Yeah, so I want to let y'all know, because I'm gonna let brother Dynast go, but I want to let y'all know that tomorrow, y'all already know what it is for tomorrow. Tomorrow, the 4 unicorns will be good. I see one of the unicorns in the chat. What's up, Lady Ming? The 4 unicorns will be on tomorrow, and y'all know it's only one place y'all can find them, right here on T.P.O.T. tomorrow. The title of the show tomorrow, y'all, is The Fine, the Fat, and the Fugly. Keep that in mind, y'all. The fine, the fat, and the fugly. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about ladies' looks, how important they are to men. Should they be important to men? Are they important to women? Should they be? And we're going to be asking the question, are all women beautiful? So
I can answer that. That's
oh yeah, we know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
go ahead.
We know that. We know the answer. We know the answer. So tomorrow, that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So join me tomorrow, the 4 unicorns. Y'all know what it is. 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Lady Ming, Lady Classic, Lady Kendra, Lady Cats tomorrow. The Unicorn 4 live and direct right here on T.P.O.T. Y'all know what it is. Come through. You know. All right. Once again, I want to thank Brother Dynast Amir for coming through, giving us some real talk about Africa. And like I said, if you're listening to this live or listening to it on the playback, hit the brother's site up, hit the brother's YouTube page up, follow him on Instagram, and check out his site as well. He's got some really, really nice stuff up there. I think I'm going to order one of them dashikis because I like the real ones.
I appreciate it. Thank you, family.
Not the ones that they make in China
or India. So, yeah, no, I got the real deal situation.
Yeah, he's got the real African dashikis. If you want a dashiki, all right. I want to say peace to y'all, and I also want to say thanks for y'all coming through. Everybody stopping by, you know. And with that, I will leave y'all with 3 words, like I always do. Open your minds. And we out of here, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
The Prophet of Thought series.
Peace, folks.